The Austrian army during World War II was a very mighty, very strong army. And one of the things they had to do is take out this small town. Once they overran the small town, once they took it, they would have the rest of Austria and much of Europe they'd be able to take. But there's one thing about this small town. Troops after armies, they would go to that small town, but they would lose. And these are one of the finest armies of Europe. So one day, the commander said, we've got to find a captain with the army, the biggest, the baddest, that can take that town. We need that town on top of those mountains so we can take the rest of Europe. And one of the captains says, my men are strong, my men are mighty. It's a bunch of troops of bubbas, okay? And they can take the town, and we're gonna take them. Nobody has ever beat us. The commander said, okay, are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. And all the other captains, they looked at that captain and says, you're not gonna take it either. He said, what? You're not gonna take it either. We'll see about that. 200 in his army started marching toward this town in the mountains of Austria. As they got closer, 200 troops, big, mean, ready to fight, looked around. Where's the armies? They thought. They continued to get closer to the town. They saw farmers working in the fields. They saw farms, dogs, horses, men, women. There was no armies there. They said, we're going to get closer. We're going to see something when we get closer to that city limits. And they got closer to the city limits. And as they got closer, there was nothing there. They got into the city. There was nothing there. There were children playing. And there were the mothers and the wives and the girls that were gardening, doing things with the vegetables. They're just part of the town. And they're looking around. There's got to be a trap. The captain said, there's got to be a trap around here. I know that. Get ready, people. And the army was just ready to tear everybody apart. There was nothing like that. There were dogs running around. There were children playing. There were women sewing, knitting. And husbands and fathers and men were just going about their daily activities. Where's the armies? The captain said. This old man came out of this little house. He was about in his 80s, very small, very wrinkled. The captain says, who are you? And all the armies got their weapons ready. He says, I'm the mayor of this town. Well, where's your armies? He said, we don't have any armies. Well, how come so many troops could not take this town? He said, we don't need any armies. Go ahead, take it. But you know, a strange thing was going on. As the captain was talking to the mayor, the soldiers were looking at the children playing, and one of the soldiers says, that daughter reminds me of my daughter. And one of the other soldiers said, look at those two boys playing with a ball over there. They remind me of my sons. And another soldier looked at this lady sitting on a porch, and she was knitting. She looks like my wife. There was so much peace in the village. Nobody was scared of the army. The captain says, we're going to take you over. The mayor said, okay. Well, who's in charge of your armies? The captain said. The mayor said, oh, we gave our town to God. He's in charge. God? Yeah, God. We're going to take over you now. We need this town. The mayor said, okay. Meanwhile, the captain was looking. He saw a dog, just like his own dog, just kind of walking around the town square. It reminded him of his dog. And he too saw a little boy that was maybe no more than 1 year old, and a mother was just kind of rocking it in her arms. It reminded the captain of his 1-year-old son, and he had a wife. that would have been rocking in his arms. And the mayor says, "Go ahead, take our town." Now the captain was pretty smart. He knew if he told his soldiers to fire, they couldn't fire, because every one of them were seeing things in that town that reminded them of their families. The captain looked around. He told his armies, "Retreat!" They retreated. The captain got back to the headquarters. The commander talked to him and said, "Well, did you take the town?" The captain said, "No, I couldn't take the town." The commander says, "We need that town." The captain says, "You're going to have to find another army. I cannot take that town." So over the years, the town was never taken. And it had nothing to do with the strength that an army has. It has to do with an inward strength, a strength from God, knowing you're protected by God. And you know what? Sometimes in the streets, in the world, we think it's this strength that's going to get us through. But over and over again, the strength fails us. It's not this strength. It's the strength within your heart. It's the stronghold that you have that God gives you. The love He gives you. There's a lot of words out there. I talk a lot about words where I work. There's a lot of power in thoughts and words. There's a lot of words that have a lot of strength, we think. You're a loser. You're no good. You amount to nothing. Those words mean absolutely nothing. We think they do. They take power over us. There's a lot of power in thoughts and words. If you've had those words said to you, if you've had those words that says, "You're nothing, you're nothing, you're no good," wipe those out with positive words. You need to hear yourself say, "I will make it. I will succeed. I'm not a crook. I'm not an addict. I can get through this." Those words have power. Give those words to your Lord. Pray to your Lord. Let Him give you the power to overcome those words that have been told you over and over again that you won't make it. And you know what? I have proof many, many times. Client after client after client that I've worked with, they have replaced those words with words of encouragement. Get with someone that can give you words of encouragement.